You know, Jesus spent most of his life trying to communicate with people what the kingdom was all about, its essentials, what was really important. In Matthew 13, it's full of parables concerning the kingdom, but there's some key things I really like that he breaks out in the latter part of Matthew 13. It's called the parable of the mustard seed, and the parable of the leaven, the parable of the treasure found in the field, and the pearl of great price. These are such powerful principles, even in today's world where we live in, because it speaks about where our values are at. Jesus is really saying, he said, you know, we overlook the small things of life. We take them for granted, but he's saying they're so important. You know, how important is a smile, a pat on the back, how you doing? It can make a whole difference in somebody's life. And Jesus is saying this is how the kingdom operates. It's so small, it's like a mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds. But yet when it gets planted, it grows up into a big bush, a huge tree that even the birds of the air can lodge in it. Like leaven, women stick it in the dough, and that leaven attacks all of the dough, and it literally infects and permeates and makes a difference of the consistency of that dough. And then he talks about the importance of really valuing in on the small things that we overlook. He talks about a guy who goes out and he finds a field and he finds a treasure in that field. He looks at that treasure, how much that treasure is, looks at what he's got in his hands. He said, no, this treasure is more valuable than what I got. I'm selling everything I got, and I'm going to buy that field and I'll have that treasure. Pearl merchant finds that one pearl that's so special that he's been looking for all of his life, called the pearl of great price. He said, man, I'm going to have this if I have to spend everything I have to capture this. It is worth it. Isn't it funny how in this world, everything around us is centered on everything that's external. What you get makes you. If you only had this, or if you wore this perfume, or had this designer set of clothes, or lived in this neighborhood, drove this car, everything is focused on externals. But Jesus is saying, the king of this kingdom is more interested about what's going on the inside of you than what's going on the outside of you. You know, Jesus said in Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom. That word seek means crave, hunger, desire, more than anything else the kingdom, and all these things will be added unto you. Psalms 37 verse 4, I think it is, it says, you know, delight yourself in the Lord and God will give you the desires of your heart. It's all about us getting our priorities right, where our true value is. Let me tell you, God's invested something on the inside of you. He's planted a treasure chest on the inside of you. What we got on the inside is so valuable, but we've got to learn how to draw from that, pull some good things out of that treasure chest, because it'll not only make a difference in our life, it'll make a difference in this world. God made an investment in us to change our world. How important is all that? This whole series of parables ends up with the parable about the end times and the gathering in of the fish, and God sorts out the good fish from the bad fish. In other words, what are you investing all your time in? What's really so important here? We get caught up with so much minutia, but what's really important is the things of the kingdom, because they are eternal. In the day we're living in today, the stuff we see happening in the Middle East, they're signposts to us. The king is coming again. So let's get about what's really important, what's really essential. And that's that treasure that he loves you so much that he planted on the inside of you. Man, now be blessed and go be a blessing.